In a recent video, I used this homemade push stick when making some cuts here on my table saw. One of the comments I got from one of the viewers said I should go out and buy myself a gripper. You know, I considered this in the past, but I was quick to dismiss it because these things aren't cheap, right? This came in just under $50. I never felt unsafe using my push stick, but I'm kind of attached to my fingers. So I figured, you know, maybe it's time to give this thing a chance and see if I feel safer using it. So that's the goal here is we're gonna do a bunch of cuts head to head between the gripper and my push stick and see if I feel safer. And before we get started, here's the disclaimer that I got to put out there, right? This is my opinion, my views. I'm in no way a woodworking safety professional, so please use any information in this video at your own risk. Okay, as you can see, I was able to complete two identical cuts with both tools. The one thing I would say, this did feel a little bit safer coming after I came out. I was able to move the wood out of the way, right? Like having to kick this piece back probably felt a little unsafe. That and the only thing that I would say the downside of this is you saw it took me a little bit to set it up and make sure I wasn't going to cut through the tool itself. But once it's in place, if I had to do repeatable cuts, the same cuts, 100% the gripper is the way to go. Initial thoughts, there's a little bit of a disadvantage. There's no hook like I have here to push this from behind. Not the end of the world, but just might make it a little less convenient. So let's give this a cut and see how we do with this. So this one, 100%, I prefer my push stick. And that piece that I called out, I said that was the key, right? Like that pushed it through. It felt a lot safer. As you could see, the gripper actually slipped a little bit when I was trying to get that board pushed through. Now, in fairness to the gripper, they do make an accessory. They got a lot of accessories that you can buy for these things, but they make an accessory with a toe that can drop down to provide that type of a hook at the back of the stick. But keep in mind, it's probably another $15 or so, so it just keeps adding to the cost. Kind of the same as the first test, right? Felt a little weird having to kick this piece out with my push stick. But the one thing, I don't know if you caught this, but like if you can see that little bit of green there. So I cut into this piece a little bit on one of the ends right here. So that's always a risk too, right? As you start cutting into this thing, you start damaging it. But I'd still give this one to the gripper though. There's something about like having to kick that stick out, worrying that it's going to vibrate back, somehow get caught and kick back. Gripper wins that one. One of the things I do often is I cut thin strips, and I use my woodpecker thin strip guide to do that. because I like to edge band a lot of the stuff that I build. So I think there's two scenarios here. The first scenario is if I'm working with wide stock, I think there's an opportunity for the gripper. We'll try that. For thin stock, I don't see how the gripper is going to work because it'll run into my guide. So let me demonstrate both of these for you, and then we'll recap. So as you can see, I was able to do the thin strip on a wide board with the gripper. The challenge would have been, I would have hit this roller if I tried doing it with the thin stock. So I think for this particular exercise, I'm going to say it's kind of a draw. So it depends. If I'm working with wide stock, I'll probably reach for the gripper. If I'm working with thinner stock, I'll reach for my homemade push stick. The other nice thing too about the push stick is when I work with thinner stock, even if I cut into it, I don't really care because I can make another one of these for free. So as I said in the beginning of the video, my ultimate goal was to see if the gripper made me feel safer when working at the table saw. And I've got to say, I was pleasantly surprised. I think when I can use it effectively, it does make me feel safer, but I feel like I can only use it situationally, as we saw. Long rips, it's kind of awkward. I guess it would probably work out if I bought the little foot thing, but like I said, that's another added expense. Small stock, repeated cuts, 100% gripper is the way to go. Take the time, set it up, do that. When I'm making one-off cuts with either long stock or not repeatable cuts or thin stock on my thin rips, I'll continue to reach for my homemade tool here, which has served me well. And like I said, it's on me to make sure I take my time, prepare myself, and focus on what I'm doing so that I don't get hurt. So that's it. I appreciate your time. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope it was helpful for you. If you're thinking about the gripper, I'd say give it a whirl. See if it works for you. Your situation could be different than mine. Thanks a lot.